Well, hi, welcome everybody to Together We Thrive Thursday. We're going to have some pop-up Thrive Tuesdays occasionally. So this is Thrive Thursday, and it's October 22nd. It is fall winter in Colorado, and summer almost in St. Louis. So it's a crazy time of year right
It's
now.
going to be fall tomorrow. It's going to be
Fall
high
tomorrow.
of 50.
There we go. I'm Cheryl
There you
Wills.
go.
Oop, I should change my name here. I'm Cheryl Wills. We are Team Whole Health, and we do this to just kind of add value to people's lives. We hope, and talking in many different. We talk about many different things that some people are interested, some aren't, and if you are, great. Leave some comments below, and when you do the recording, and pass this on to your friends. As you know, if you're in the group and you're watching this, you know they have to be part of the private group, and that's not a problem. You would tell them this is a safe place to be. It's just a good place for you to get some good stuff. My team here is Karen Sullivan and Diana Welchard and Gretchen Sprouse. And Gretchen has been a very faithful part of our Thrive Thursdays, and I really, really appreciate her, and I appreciate her input, and I appreciate her presence here. So anyway, strange title maybe, and because this is for adults, right? And the picture was on the event was just the legs of those kids, which I thought was kind of cool to find. We all start out that way, right? And like the 3-year-old, the 3 and 2-year-old grandsons, they said, everybody starts like a baby.
Oh. That's true.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. But one day they were so into, they must have just heard that or something. Everybody starts as a baby. And we all start as babies.
That's right.
But what do you want to be when you grow up? We all have ideas when we're younger, right? And we sometimes, they say that it's around 11 to 15 max, but usually 11, 12, 13 is when you have an idea of what you want to be when you grow up. And that's probably from your core. That's from the spirit within you. And if we ever are searching and wondering why we're kind of lost in our life, we might want to go back to that and go, that's right. That's what I really wanted to be. And why wasn't I? I really wanted to be a writer. And that was great until I was a straight A on honors student in all the language arts until I got to my senior year in high school. And I had a horrible English teacher, and he didn't know anything, and he would just give me an F, give me a D, give me an F, and he would never write anything. He would never tell me it was wrong. Wow. It was the first time. So it's like, Anyway, so I went into education, but many years later, I look back and say, I was supposed to be a writer because I was really, really good. So, the thing is this, Richard Bliss Brooks says, oh, I didn't share my screen. Good grief. You're not even seeing this. Okay, here we go. There we go. We all have the power. We all have the brilliance. We all have the maturity. We all have the worthiness to deserve our dreams. And that is absolute truth. Because though Richard doesn't bring faith into his talks and his books, I know that we are all created, every human being, in the image of God. And what do you think? He's powerful, he's brilliant, he's mature, he's worthy. And he puts the dreams in our hearts. Right? So a really cool thing is we are in this business together. some of us are actively in the business. Some of us are product consumers only who are watching this and with us tonight. Our business is about changing lives. And our founder was a pretty brilliant man, and he was a dreamer, and he was a philosopher, and he actually wrote a philosophy of life, which is pretty huge. There is some, oh,
And even then they say,
and he says he has a book called Reflections on a Philosophy, which is out of print. You can find it pretty inexpensively, or you can find it for $1,000 on Amazon. I never get that about those, why they don't understand that whole thing. But he oh, excuse me, sorry. I don't know where that came from, except that there's a lot of smoke in the air for a couple weeks now. So I've actually had little cough things going on. It's a lot of sneezing. And even my silver bracelet turned black. And my dog's, my little white dog, her legs are all gray. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So anyway, he actually had a philosophy, wrote a philosophy, and there's a book. And if you are interested in that book, I actually have a PDF of it since it's out of print, and I will shoot it to you. Just put it in the comments that you want the PDF of Reflections on a Philosophy. He was so before his time. You know, we all listen to all kinds of people like Tony Robbins and Mel Robbins and Brendon Burchard, and then there's Napoleon Hill, and just all kinds of Earl Nightingale, all these famous people talking about what goes on inside of our minds and how we can become everything we're meant to become. But Dr. Shackley was born in the late 1800s, and he wrote this philosophy, and that's exactly what it's about, okay? He also has this awesome little, we have this little book called 10 Rules for Happiness and Contentment, and his philosophy was called Thoughtsmanship, okay? And one of his quotes is, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." And I know we've heard, I can't, I think it was, I can't remember the famous other person who's, it says, "As a man thinketh, so is he," came after that. But Dr. Shackley said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." And so I have, so I've just been, I've done a lot of Lou Tai, Pacific Institute, Rick Seymour's, all of his programs, all kinds of Brendon Burchard, Mel Robbins, everybody, all kinds of self-improvement, find yourself, what's your vision, you know, all these things that I've done over the years, but I've never found anything as concise and that's been able to reveal to myself what's been inside of me and what's been holding me back from being what God wants, till I've read this book called Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire by Richard Bliss Brooke. And I wanted to talk about that because, you know, like he says, we all deserve, we are all worthy to deserve our dreams. And not all of us really believe that. So here's another quote from somebody, Margaret Thatcher. "Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny." But it all starts with your thoughts. She's right. Dr. Shackley's right. Richard Brooke is right. Napoleon Hill, everybody, all of them, they're all right. Okay. And I just wanted to talk about this because I see enough people that are miserable in their lives, or you could just tell they're maybe not miserable, but not really doing in their adult years what, let's say over 40, 45 and over, who are not doing what they believe they would be doing all the way up to like they were 30 years old. They still hung on to their dreams and their hopes. And then kind of life happened and all these things took them, you know, they took different paths for different reasons. And inside, they're kind of sad. They know they're missing something. And it just it hurts me to see that. And so I'm sharing this tonight because I feel like it's a whole lot of people. Well, Richard says that it's all about motivation in the big, I don't know, the smallest of it, picture of it, or the biggest picture of it. I don't know where this fits, but he says motivation is energy. Nothing else works. And with it, when you are motivated, nothing else matters. Okay. It's motivation that leads you to change. So all we have to do first is want to be changed. So just remember that, and you've probably all heard this before. Of course, I know everybody knows this. We have a conscious mind. We have the conscious mind. Our mind is divided: conscious and subconscious, unconscious. The unconscious mind doesn't do a lot for us because we're usually pretty unaware, Wait, the conscious mind and the subconscious. So in our conscious mind, it provides reason, discernment, it judges, it learns answers to tests, it learns hot from cold. We use it in school, we use it in our jobs. It is useless in terms of accomplishing greater things than those things which we learned or have to do to get to survive and to okay. But what it's really doing is it also does not move mountains, nor does it propel us towards our dreams, because all it does is make sure that everything that happens out here in our lives matches our beliefs. If we've given up our dreams and we don't believe in them anymore, and we have all the reasons not to believe in them, and we have obstacles, all kinds of fears or whatever, if we have given up our dreams, our conscious mind is just going to make sure that we, whatever that is that made our dreams not happen, inside our subconscious mind, the conscious mind makes sure that it stays that way, lined up with our beliefs. Okay. But Richard says there is a greater portion of the subconscious mind, and he calls it infinite spirit. I call it God. Okay. He said, you can call whatever you want. It's definitely there. It's definitely there. We know we're created in the image of God. We know it's him. It's his infinity. It's his everything is in us. Okay. And Richard said, this is where the magic is. Part of the infinite spirit in us, or the spirit in us, is the creative genius. It's our autopilot. It's the problem solving. It's the part that creative genius paints masterpieces, conducts orchestras, invents nuclear reactors. It's our vision. Okay. Our emotions are the essence of us, is our emotions, and everything we do is to pursue feeling good or avoiding bad feelings, right? The emotions, everything we do, we either want to have good emotions or we want to run away from bad ones. They're there inside of us. Our intuition, our gut, now known to be more powerful than the gray matter in our head, it knows truth and it speaks to us. We must listen. And of course, the body. The body is magnificent and it is capable of miracles in healing and in heroics. We've all heard stories of there's an accident, the car is on top of somebody and somebody runs over and lifts up the car and gets somebody out. I mean, it's just, there are people who do that. You don't even think, you just do. Our bodies are capable of amazing things, created in the image of God. Again, the really important thing for us to remember is the spirit within our subconscious mind cannot distinguish between an actual experience and one that has been vividly imagined. And this is where our dreams can come true. Okay? From inside there, from imagining, truly imagining and convincing, okay, the conscious mind that that's reality. That's what we're about. That's what we need to do. Okay. Now just think about this. What if you could have the greatest thing, the one greatest thing you ever wanted in your life? You know, what would that feel like? Wouldn't that be amazing if nobody, no judgments around you, if no people judging you, money's not an issue, nobody's laughing at you, it's like, whoa, why would you want that? No, nothing, just you. Think about what that would be. What if you could, you know, uh, what if you could have to be come missing? I'm missing one. What if you could? So what if you could have something? What if you could go somewhere? What if you could be something? And what contribution would you want to make to the world in this being? All those things are possible. We all have a story. We all have a story. Richard's story is pretty dramatic. And he says that what happens is, and as children, we convince ourselves of things based on what's going on around us. As adults, we have a place of context and experience that we can kind of know where something comes from. But as a child who doesn't, so a child hears somebody, a 3-year-old has, or a 2-year-old has somebody yelling at them who's 3 times their size, and he has no point of reference for that. So what he might think then is, I am bad. Or and everything that happens in a child's life is around the things that are happening that they can't make sense out of. When they hear somebody yelling because or being mean to them, an adult, because they had a bad day at work, that makes no sense to them. They don't know what work is. They have no point of reference to that, okay? So their rationale, they're trying to make sense out of it like we can, but they can't. So all kinds of things. And what happens is those beliefs that come from sometimes only a bad interpretation of something because of being so young. Sometimes it's been actually really a bad thing. There are, obviously many, many, many abused children. But even if they aren't abused, they can come out with some kind of wacky belief about themselves. And Richard calls them the I ams. And the most common ones are, I am not good enough. I am not smart enough. I am not cool enough. I am not loved. I am not worth it. I am bad. I am stupid. I am worthless. And if we look into ourselves, we'll find a couple of them from our childhood that have been haunting us that we weren't aware of. And we all know people who have shared with us any one of those I ams. The conscious mind cannot hold 2 opposing thoughts at the same time. The conscious mind can't hold the belief, I am worthless, at the same time as I am worthy. Okay? So the conscious mind, it's kind of like, you're talking to somebody, you're having a conversation, and then say a child is over here talking right into your ear while you're talking. Okay? And you can't do it. A thought going out, a thought coming in, they are opposing thoughts. They cannot be kept there in your conscious mind. Either you turn around and say, don't ever agree to the child if you're not really aware of what they're saying, because you said I could, I did, no. You go, what are you saying? Or you say, or your words start coming out kind of weird because you're hearing these other words. The conscious mind is like that. Okay, it can't hold 2 things. So the idea is that we work on changing our belief system about ourselves. And there is a method and there is a way to do it that works, totally always works. Sometimes fast for people, sometimes slower, but it always works. And we can change our belief system to convince the conscious mind. And when we do that, the conscious mind will, just like it did with the bad beliefs, will always make sure that what happens in our life and what we're consciously thinking and what we're doing and where we're going and what we're attracting matches the new belief. And that's how we get to be the people we were intended to be when we were created, even before we were created. Every one of us, God has an intention for every single one of us, okay? But most of us are not fulfilling that. It's not our fault. But if we want to change, we can. If we want to be all that He intends for us, we actually can. And that's what this is about. I don't work for Richard Brooke. I've never met him. I am not getting any money for promoting this book, but I want to tell you something. This book, of all the courses I've done and all the books I've read, is the most concise book to drill down into self, unearth what's really there, and take a person step by step to changing the beliefs to be able to become all that God desires and that we desire. The name of the book is Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. And if you really want to change, I would just recommend that you do this. And then there are a whole lot of other books. I'm going to, I have a book list that I'm going to put in the bottom of the, when we post the recording, that'll be in this, on this page. A whole lot of other books to support, and it's just awesome. What if you could be everything that God wants you to be? What if your dreams could really come true and you could be that person that you would be so proud of, that you would, your family would be so proud of, that you would have such freedom and such, what if you had such incredible contentment because you were all that you're supposed to be? Think about it. What if? Okay, we're going to open up. That's all I've got. Any comments? Any answers to what if? What would that feel like? What would that feel like in your life to be that person? I'm done. Go ahead, Diana. I see you.
Well, it would feel great. I think, I think there's so many things we don't realize hold us back. And those little walls and roadblocks that we're not aware of, that hold us back or make us think a little differently about ourselves, and how awesome that is to be able to see those, realize them, and break through those to actually dream.
Yeah.
That
to bring the dreams back. We all had them as kids.
Yeah.
The dreams are still in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to confess, I really had given up on most of my dreams. And now I believe in them again. I've also adjusted them a little bit now that I'm older. Because, there's just some things I'm not going to be doing at 70 that I could have done at 50, or 30 or something. But yeah, they're all in there. They're all in there.
And I've always had narrowed my scope because I had no idea how to go big, to affect people's lives and change people's lives and help them according to what they want. As my gift is to answer their needs, the way God answers mine. And just as the instrument to do that, and all of a sudden I'm realizing I don't have to limit it to just the people in my classes and just the people I'm around, and see. that it can be bigger than that, and not with social media.
You know, our business is about changing lives. And if we don't change first, we
Mhm.
can have
Mhm.
all those hopes and dreams to change lives around us. But if we aren't going to be able to open ourselves up and clean it out and change our own belief, we won't be able to
Mhm.
help nearly as many as people, change nearly as many lives as we
Right.
could if with doing that. I think I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, you know what I
Right.
mean? But
Mhm.
we need to
Yeah.
change. We need to change first.
Right.
We need to be who God wants us to be so that he then will work through us much more easily and much more broadly,
Right.
right?
Well,
Right.
people have that trust in you when you've been through those things first. You've experienced something, you've seen it, you realized it in yourself, you know, and you're going after something. People respect that. It's contagious. They want to do that because you're doing it. They see the
Right.
difference, and then
Yeah.
they trust you
And
because
Right.
they see you know where you're going
yep,
and they go,
Right.
I want to know where I'm going too. You
Right.
know? Right?
Yeah.
I want to go where you're going. Not to the exact place, but I want to be on that same kind of path, that same
Yeah.
journey,
Right.
that excitement for life.
that
Right.
excitement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I got my book today. I
Oh.
know, I was really excited. I haven't had a chance to even begin on it, and but I was watching. I posted a couple of videos in the last couple of days that I ran across that had to do with people who are working with dogs that were special needs, that didn't have legs, and one dog in particular looked like he was she was a Samoyed, and this animal had only one back leg, and her front legs looked like they were shorter, and I don't know if it was a birth defect. It just sort of started kind of in the middle of the story, and you watch this woman with great patience applying these braces, and then as this little dog, a mid-sized dog, was began to walk and everything, this woman cried, just cried. And I thought, golly, what a commitment to helping, to helping, you know. And there are people that have that same commitment, our friends in Uganda, that are working with all those people that have major issues, and just trying to support their families and everything. And that's the same thing, the same sort of thing. And it's like, okay, there's there's a way outside of my community that I want to reach.
Right.
And
Right.
and I want to do that. That's exciting. That's really
The
exciting to me.
exciting,
Yeah.
maybe the exciting part isn't just that you want to do it, is that now you are starting to believe you truly will finally.
I truly will. Exactly.
Right? That's
Right.
that's where the excitement comes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've always wanted to do that, but I never made that decision to make it happen by changing me first, by changing my
Right.
thoughts. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Sure.
Thoughtsmanship.
Mhm.
It's all about our
Mhm.
thinking. I love,
Mhm.
what Margaret Thatcher said too. Um, let's see if I can see anyone says, well, this was Dr. Shackley. We've heard this before. What you think you look, what you think you do, what you think you are.
You are, yeah.
It's all here,
Mm-hmm.
connected deep
Yeah.
inside.
Neat.
That's good. That's good.
Oh,
Neat,
thanks,
neat.
guys. Well,
Thank you, Cheryl.
I hope this inspires people to just kind of think about, what's missing, and I could really be a different person, be the person I really hoped I would be when I was 12 and 13 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not just to do, but to be.
Right.
Right?
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much.
That's
This was
good.
You're
wonderful.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh gosh. Blessings on all of you. You can tell I'm stoked. I just started using that word this week. I am
That's your new
stoked.
word.
That's my new word. I am stoked. I don't even really know what stoked means. Is that like stoke a fire? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
know.
I
Get it
guess it's
fired
something-
up, you
Yeah,
know?
I am. I'm stoked.
You
Gretchen,
stoke
did
the
you want
fire,
to?
it burns hotter. So
Yeah.
if you're stoking,
Oh,
the
that,
fire burns hotter.
that's right. That's what you do with that thing,
Yep.
the poking thing, right?
Well, you put more wood in, you're stoking it like a wood burner when you're heating a house. You put more wood in, you're
Oh.
stoking the fire, and that makes the fire hotter.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
image. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Neat.
That's
Yay, I know.
Okay. Gretchen, did
Terrific.
you want to say anything? Do you think I'm crazy? You're muted, by the way.
Oh, she is.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to go. I think it's right about 30 minutes. We don't want to keep people too late, too long
Great.
for these recordings. And I'll put the name of this book and the other books to read too that that he had read his entire life. And don't forget
Neat.
Sportsmanship. And if you want that,
Craftsmanship.
PDF of Reflections on a Philosophy, ask me. I'll shoot it over to you. All right.
Okie dokie. Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
God
Have a
bless you,
great
everyone.
night, guys.
Thanks.
Take
You
care.
too.